You're gonna
He's
introduce him, Karen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ourselves and him.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to report that we have finished our unofficial tabulating. It must stay unofficial by state law until next Friday, November 13th. Bear with me here. And then we will meet again to verify all the results. My name is Carrie Anderson. I am the chairman of the Vigo County Election Board, and this is Mr. John Kessler. He is the Democrat member of the election board.
Pleased to meet you.
And with us today is Mr. Dan McGinnis, and he is with RBM Consulting, which is our election consultant equipment provider. And he has a statement that he would like to present to everybody.
As Kara said, I am Dan McGinnis. I'm president of RBM. And I wanted to come here today to explain to the candidates and the electorate the circumstances surrounding the Vigo County delay in releasing results of the 2020 general election. In essence, somewhere between 5 and 6% of the 43,000 plus ballots that were cast in the general election were on rolls of paper which were out of specification to the Vigo County election equipment. The difference in paper, which measures a millimeter, resulted in approximately 2,000 of the ballots cast being rejected by the voting equipment. Since Tuesday, the Vigo County election workers, which always includes a Democrat and a Republican, working together, have gone about identifying the ballots which were cast on the paper which was out of specifications, recreating those ballots on the correct rolls of paper. Each ballot that required a remake has been indexed and archived to maintain the integrity of the election. This issue did not present itself during the calibration of the equipment in the lead up to the election or during the public test. However, both in early voting and election day, there were rolls of paper which were out of specification used in creating the ballots, which were incapable of being read by the tabulation equipment. Additionally, because Indiana law does not allow the absentee or early voting ballots to be handled until election day, the problem did not present itself until ballots began to be counted. Once the problem was realized, the plan outlined above with Democrats and Republicans working together to duplicate the ballots to ensure every vote counted was accurate. I deal and work with election equipment, and its sensitivity cannot be overstated. While different pieces of paper may work on a copying machine or a fax machine, this equipment undergoes years of testing and certification to make sure it does exactly what it's supposed to do. And that type of equipment, minuscule differences in paper, can and does make a difference. Thank you for listening.
I would just like to give a little more information with regards to the delay, in that although out of 43,000, the 20, and this is just rough estimate, we really even had time to solidify the actual number of ones that were remade. We call it remade. They are all intermingled in there. And so once we would begin scanning, it starts kicking out. They must be put over to the side, remade, and then run in with the ones that did go through the scanner, thus resulting in a lot of time delay. Again, like we have stated since Election Day, is that the election board's main priority in this election cycle during this pandemic was to provide a safe environment for voters, obviously multiple options and methods of being able to cast their vote, and then also to encourage voter participation. And I feel like I'm very proud of my partner John here on the election board, Brad Newman, the Vigo County clerk, and all of his staff that have put in, they've been right here all night long for the last couple nights, you know, working through this. I feel like we did that for Vigo County. We offered the 3 28-day vote centers to try and spread this out so folks could have an opportunity to do that. By law, we're only required to have 1 28-day, which is traditionally your government building, your courthouse. In our case, it's our annex. And we wanted to do everything we could during this trying time of our pandemic to make people feel safe. We had our mail-in ballots, resulted in about 6,300 that came in by mail. Total overall ballots that had to be scanned was about 34,500 ballots. And those were all the balance, not the mail-in, the 6,300, but everything else, this paper was intermingled in that. Whether you went to the annex, the mall, Meadows during that 28 days, the 5 other locations that we offered the six days prior to the general election, that paper was all intermingled, different, perhaps maybe in a different machine, different locations. And so that is what the time, what took so much time for the board and all of the workers here to sort through and using these scanners. And because we wanted to be very meticulous and make sure that every ballot was properly cast, was counted, it just took time, and we took our time deliberately to do that. Just to give you a little bit of, just not counting scanning, the actual envelopes that all of those ballots were sealed in, by law we could not touch until 6 a.m. on election day, November 3rd. We had 30 people, 15 teams, 15 Democrats, 15 Republicans sitting at a table, and they began tearing those cutting those envelopes open and taking the ballot out. So 30 people started at 6 a.m. on November 3rd, and they finished at 7:15 p.m. And all the while needing to stay verified that, because when those ballots come in, when that vote center closes for the day, those are all logged, and that all had to balance and match back. So it's not like you could rip that envelope open, run down and scan it, see if it was any good. It had to stay together for the integrity purposes of verifying every vote. So it was very time consuming, and the staff performed wonderfully. I think I had mentioned this before. I kind of feel like in this age of technology that perhaps we were all a little spoiled at getting very quick results, and it just wasn't possible this time because of what we were trying to accomplish with the larger 3 28-day vote centers, the 5. Election day, there were a few issues we had heard of at poll centers where folks, the scanner wouldn't read it. If we couldn't remake it on a different machine, if it wouldn't take, they were asked to place it in what was called the auxiliary bin because it would not go through the scanner. It was placed in the back of the scanner. Those were all taken out, remade, because they had been checked in through the e-poll book when they entered the voting location. They were issued they issued and printed their ballot. Those all had to match back. Every single thing matches. Single thing is cross-checked. I'm very proud, and because we took our time and everyone, showed us patience, every single day of every vote center and election day has balanced. Everyone that issued a ballot, whether it was scanned, whether it was put in the auxiliary, whether they did it early and it was just put in an envelope, all of those logs have balanced to a T, and we feel very confident about that. As John stated yesterday when we talked to you folks, we wanted safety and encouraged participation. We accomplished that. Once the polls closed and we saw what we were up against, there was only one main objective, and that was accuracy over speed. And so we know it's trying for candidates. They've worked hard during their campaign, and they'd like to see if their hard work was fruitful. And it's kind of like a kid in a candy store. You get excited and you want to know, but we felt like we needed to take our time, do it right, protect the integrity of the ballot and everything that it stands for. This was a major team effort. On election day, there were 275 people that were working, trying to do that. And very proud of everybody, and I'm very proud of the people that we serve with. We appreciate Dan coming here from RBM and explaining to you that this was all about doing it well and doing it right and trying to preserve the integrity of this very sacred American right. And I
can just
want to
chime
thank
in,
you all.
yeah.
I did want to say, some of you all in the news media have lived here on the courthouse floor with us, and we want to thank you for your patience with that also, okay? Because we know people were really wanting to, know how this came out, and it was frustrating for everyone, including ourselves, but we persevered, and I'm just very proud of everybody.
If I just chime in briefly, I want to touch on what she said about the election workers. It was just an amazing group of individuals that cooperated with each other. Yeah, I've been in athletics all my work life, and it was just a teamwork where they worked diligently. I mean, most of us got here Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. and I'm still here. I left one time for 3 hours.
Yes.
Other than that, I never left since Tuesday at 5 a.m. and there's many others that did that also. The election workers need to be congratulated. It's an amazing group of individuals. They worked hard for their fellow citizens to make sure that each vote counted and made sure it was counted with integrity, and we can assure you that that was done.
One other thing I think that probably is not a well-known fact, but we'd like to get out there is, when we saw the number of ballots that were going to have to be opened and scanned, before we even knew that there was a paper issue, we had made the resolution of, if we were not at 75% by 10:30, we were going to call it, let folks go home and rest, come back fresh and do it right. And we all ended up staying till 1:30, seeing how we were going to address this paper issue that was had presented itself. When we left here at 1:30 on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, those ballots all had to be secured. We had 2 sheriff deputies from the Vigo County Sheriff Department sitting at the room down there where the ballots were. In addition to those 2 sheriff deputies, in 2 very uncomfortable chairs was the Vigo County Democrat Party chairman and the Vigo County Republican Party chairman. And they stayed in those chairs all night until we came back in a little after 6 on Wednesday morning. So as you can see, everything was done to preserve the integrity of the vote, the safety of the vote, the fairness. It was a cooperative effort from Democrats, Republicans, volunteers, poll workers, elected officials, and our vendors.
Yep.
And I just can't thank y'all enough for being patient with us, and we hope you understand why we did what we did, and want to say congratulations to the winners, and to the folks that weren't winners, we want to say, I think everybody here in Vigo County ran great campaigns and are all great folks. Vigo County definitely was the winner today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have the results been posted online yet?
Well,
If they haven't been, they will be shortly.
yes, if they
will be
haven't,
shortly.
yes, if they haven't been, sure.
snap of your statement so I can quote you on?
Oh, I'm sure.